complete freedom. It's almost like a chess game, but then at the end, you have to strike. We've crossed ideas, so we need to find a balance between life and understanding football. Football is all about mistakes. Like this.
No.
That's it, nice, easy,
I'm
easy.
tired. I'm Lara Palmer, and today you will see the soul of the football, Campbell, the legend of football.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Let's go.
Yep.
What does football mean to you? What is for you?
Football means to me, I'm a very emotional guy. I may be a big guy and playing football and things like that, but I've always been connected, spiritually to football. Mm-hmm. And my heart, my soul, my spirit. I feel when I used to play, it's almost I'm playing or I'm going to battle for my team, for my nation, for my area. Because I used to do that from the streets. I used to play my area, my street against another street or another area. I love that. Mm-hmm. And football for me, it means so much. It nourishes my soul, my spirit, everything. It feeds me. Mm-hmm. And I love the game. I really love the game, but then sometimes you can fall out of love of the game, and that's the difficult part. Me trying to be a manager, things like that, and not getting the opportunity to be a manager. That there was a balance between breaking my heart and my soul and keeping football sacred and special, because I don't want my lack of opportunity to eat away with just so many years of beautiful football and beautiful things that happen to me in football. It's ups and downs in life, but football for me is spiritual for me. I just love it. When I used to play, I used to go into a different zone. I used to go in my mind, and my body used to be kind of almost magnetic to the game. I used to feel the frequency, and the higher the game, the more pressure the game, the more I started to see things even clearer. It wasn't foggy anymore. The faster, the quicker, the more skill, the more pressure. It was like everything started to calm and just, I can see things now. I can see I could see things. Yeah, the higher level, but then some people can't see and it gets foggy. It started to clear for me. I used to love the high level football. It was a fix for me. I thought, oh my God, I'm alive now. And then you have the crowds and things like that, and either for you or against you. So the whole scene was set, and I was on the stage, and I used to love it.
Yeah. And who would you call your best teacher?
Best teacher.
Mm-hmm.
I think with best teacher is managers who see you at different stages. So when I was 14 years old, there was a manager who is called John Cartwright. He helped me, teach me when I was 14 to 16 for England, it's called the Liddershaw and National Academy. I got into that school, so he helped me from that age. And I think for me, past that, when I got into Tottenham, I think Ozzy Ardelius and Steve Perriman really helped me in the first 18 months, 2 years, when I got into the first team at 18 years old. And then I think after that is when I have my talent, and then Arsene came along when I went to Arsenal. And he kind of gave me he had a system already, he had fantastic players there, and I was one of the last jigsaw puzzles just to go into there and to make this team, function properly. It was like the plug, the electricity, the plug it in, now we're all working properly. So for me, and he had a system, he had a style of play, he had a style of how he managed as well. And for me, that was perfect to be in an environment that he created, and then I could truly understand my football and understand my ability even more, and then see how far my ability and football can go, because I had friends around me who at the same level, thinking the same thing and want to win as much as they can in a short space of their careers in football. So it was perfect storm for me to be in that just perfect to me to kind of just poof, see how far I can go and win as much, you know, and it was we did some amazing things at Arsenal.
Yeah. And you know that people call you football influencer. So, and how do you feel your mission in this position? Could you tell me?
Well, for me, influencer is almost you have to show where people should be or should be going towards, because you almost feel it in the psyche. You feel it in what people are thinking, or you want to take them to another place where they should be going. Like for football has to move on, have to, you know, encourage and embrace other people from around the world, people from different genders, things like that. They have to, because football is really quite stiff sometimes, and it needs to move, it needs to incorporate, it needs to, you know, encompass everyone. Sometimes it's a little bit too exclusive. So it has to open up a little bit more, and it is. Some teams are opening up, some nations are opening up, but football needs to grow even more. For football to be like an unbelievable sport, it needs to completely open. And they are going towards that, but there are always sometimes there's associations or countries are still stiff, but we have to show them the way. Football is for everybody. And that's how I started on the streets. Football, it should be for everyone.
Yeah, I agree with you, really. You had a really great journey from the streets of East London to becoming a Tottenham and Arsenal, a really great footballer, very famous and so on. But let's start with, do you remember that boy that you once were, and how could you describe him?
Rough, tough London, East London, but still had, I was inquisitive. I was always asking questions. I never, you know, if this is it, I said, okay, what else? Is there something else? I always thought there was something else about any situation. So I was very inquisitive. I wanted to learn. And also for me, my area, I had not much to learn other than street, no kind of paintings, no history, no, you know, I've very simple life I'm from, but my mind was hungry. My soul was hungry. My mind was hungry to learn, to discover, to you know, sample, to see. My eyes, and I wanted to see new things. I just knew this life wasn't just this. I knew I wanted to discover what else was out there. So I was geared up. I'm not like some of my brothers and sisters. I was always explorer. I never wanted to stand still. I wanted to always move and discover new things. And even though economically I couldn't do it because, you know, my lifestyle, but my mind and spirit had the first to discover, to travel. And one of the things I felt as a young boy, and I started getting into football, I traveled a little bit. You learn a lot. You become more well-rounded when you start to see other cultures, how people think, what people are doing, and people around the world, and the good, the bad, the indifferent. So I loved all that. So I always ask questions. So when I used to travel with football, I used to talk to the guys, the reception people. So how is your country? What's happening? And this and that, blah, blah, blah. I was always wanted to find out how people lived. And that's how you become more, worldly, more understanding of people, cultures, and habits. So yeah, I was always inquisitive. But that's the young boy in me. Yeah.
When did your coach, your first coach, see that you were a new whiskey and you hope of their of football? Yes.
It was when I got into England under 18s, and the European competition was in England, and back then it was the first time Sky Sports televised the whole tournament. We were probably one of the first. So we had in our team, we had quite a few Man United players, Tottenham players, and Leeds, and so a mixture. But it's the first time the country has seen on home soil and televised in a high level. Sky Sports took it on. So I remember, playing in that competition, and we won. We beat Spain on the way. We beat Holland. And in the final we played Turkey, and we beat them 1-0 at Nottingham Forest. So fantastic under 18s, not won it for a long time. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna go relax and go back to my team, maybe 1, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I get a phone call. I said, you have to come in. So I just finished. I thought I had Ozzy Ardiles and Steve Perriman, they want you in now for the first team. And that's why I said, oh my God, so I must have only had 1 week off, and then I had to do another pre-season. It was like, but when you're young, you just go for it. And then from there, that was when it changed. Everything changed. It was like night and day. Perception, how you looked at life, the pressure, understanding your body even more, the level. I had the skill, but I needed the experience and level. And that's when it really changed. I had to come back in, and I started training with the first team. And that's when it really, really changed for me. Yeah.
So once you said, I like to be a tiger roaming the jungle and an eagle soaring in the sky. What does it mean?
For me, it feels like you are complete freedom with the land, freedom with the landscape, freedom with your environment, freedom to roam, survey, land, work, off, whatever you want to do. To complete freedom, but at the same time, you feel in control of what's around you.
And what is this freedom for you?
Freedom for me, especially when I was playing football, was on the pitch. Complete freedom, bliss, complete. I was together with my mind, my body, the environment, whoever I was playing against. I was relaxed, but focused. So that is the time when I felt I can be truly free and play the game I love.
What are your favorites in the FIFA Cup this year? Maybe do you have some?
Yeah, for me to win, I would love England to win.
Yeah.
But they're going for a little bit difficult times with the back area and certain players with confidence issues. So hopefully we could organize that and give them confidence. But the team probably looking out for is probably Brazil, looking really strong this year, and France. Those two teams, those two countries they have a good chance to win it. Yes.
And what is your favorite match? And just with your participation and without?
For me, probably the Brazil 1970. Fantastic players, unbelievable goals, beautiful football. The 1970 Brazilian side. For me, scoring against Sweden in my World Cup and in Japan and Korea, that was a beautiful time for me. 2002 World Cup. That's special. Scoring the goal, header. It's just my feeling, my soul, everything about you is just so special because if you score in the World Cup, it's you score any major competition for your country. It's an honor. It's a special time, and one fact for me, while so special, it was only after. When you look at the history books, I was the first black English player to score in a World Cup for England, and I didn't know that until many years later. Someone said, "Oh, really? You realize you?" And in my head, I thought, "I cannot be the first, but I'm the first." So that holds two special things: special goal, but also the meaning of it as well. So it's those two moments: the 1970 Brazilian side, and me scoring against Sweden.
You was coach yourself.
Yes.
And how did you recognize talent?
I recognize talent in different ways because I played as defender, midfielder, and forward. So I reckon I see talent in many different ways. One of the things I recognize I'm really good at is shifting players into different positions to really some players who maybe not quite understand their position, and I see something different. I said, "Do you know what? I think you're better there. Let's try you out there." And I'm really good at moving players around because I moved around and to find my position. So I kind of understand some players' attributes are suited better to that position. Maybe they don't think that, but I just know you do that, you're going to go even further than if you stay in that position. So I'm really good at that. Shifting players around to find their correct position to move on. I did that a couple of times, and some players have literally got on to another level to kind of be even more successful in the position they thought this is not me, but actually it is for them.
Do you see differences in style of game between Europe and Latin America? What do you?
I think there is a difference. I think there is a difference in between the pace of the game and when to strike. World Cups, you have to it's almost like a chess game, but then at the end, you have to strike very quickly. So there is a movement, you have to recognize some, if you play in a country, it's hot, you have to recognize sometimes the ground, the grass is sticky or whatever. So you have to play a different style of football and you have to conserve your energy. And also sometimes, in Europe, especially in England, the football can be very quick, very fast, and very accurate. But in World Cup football, you have to almost, you have to play almost like, you have to play with it. You have to play with football. You have to go there, hold back, push in. There's so many things you have to do. You almost have to have a maturity in your game, an understanding of what you can do and what you can't do. And sometimes, I think with England, we've got to the situation that we're playing too fast, too quick, and then latter stages of the competition, we're getting very tired. Very tired because of maybe a long season or just playing too much and allowing yourself to kind of run out of steam. Mental, capacity as well is very key. So almost you have to find a balance between life and football and bring it together. And probably we have played too fast, but now we're playing a little bit more clever, understanding. I think players who've come over to England, the Premiership has helped big time with understanding. Different coaches have come in over the last 20 years and have brought their kind of way of style of football. And I think we've kind of brought it together to a nice balance. And before we have got to the semi-finals of the World Cup last time, got to the finals of Euros. So hopefully it's the next step. But we have a difficult team at the moment because some of the personnel is just not at the level. So we've got to be careful. But I think the English football have definitely matured. European football I think they have the influence of South America. You know, you have Spain, and all these players have had players over in their countries for many, many, many decades. So maybe that's helped them as well. You know, Spain and Italy, all these kind of countries, and France, obviously. So we need to find a balance between life and understanding football. You know, to truly kind of play and win a World Cup, and also not just once, go a game maybe 4 years time or 8 years time or 12 years time and get to another final. We have to regularly get there. I mean, the Germans, they've found the balance between really understanding football, and they've got to many, many finals and have won many times. We need to catch up to them because they're probably our closest, you know, style of football, and they've been successful. And obviously we're nearly there, but we have to almost understand why. It's not the football, it's just, I think, the mentality. Yeah. So we need to bridge the South American and the European style, bring it together, make it our own style, and get to finals on a regular basis.
So, what is of most importance on the pitch during the match?
First of all, when I think back, is family. To have family, to have your affairs and situations behind football all organized. And then you can truly play football freely. So for me, it's family and happiness. Because then when you play on the pitch, you can be totally free. The worst thing is sometimes when you have problems and then you try to free your problems on the pitch. It sometimes works, but then afterwards you get the come down of being off the pitch if your life is not organized. So for me, the most important thing is first get your situation behind football, and then when you go on the pitch, that's the clear thing. You have to be totally free. You have to be in love with the game. If you do not love the game, the game is not going to love you back. So it's true, and I think, and then you don't last as long because it's football, sport high level. It's hard. It's grueling. The level, the competition within your team, the competition with opposite teams, and then you have to kind of compete all the time. You're competing all the time. You're competing with the media, so you have to kind of understand all this to be truly free on the pitch. And that's, for me, one of the ingredients is to have your family or your situation organized so you can be completely free on the pitch to play to the highest level possible.
Yeah. And what's the biggest mistake on the pitch during the game?
Biggest mistake is when things go wrong and you muck up big time and you cause a goal, or you miss an easy goal that takes your team to the final or win a final. So for me, the mistake is, sometimes the mistakes can happen like that and you don't understand how that's happened. But it's how you recover. So me slipping, causing a goal, a centre forward missing an easy goal to win the game, a midfielder, you know, not passing the right ball to the centre forward to win, to shoot, to score. I think there's mistakes. Football is all about mistakes.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, it's not making, you know, it's making the right mistakes that doesn't hurt you or hurt your team. Because sometimes you make the mistake that causes a problem, you're out. But some people make mistakes and it doesn't cause a goal or they don't lose the game. So it's all about making the right mistakes on the pitch.
Do you have a best friend among the footballers?
Yeah, I have some. I have the guy called Andrew Cole from Man United, another guy called Nicky Butt, Patrick Vieira, Thierry Henry, really good, Robert Perez, Ashley Cole, Jens Lehmann, Colo from my teams. Yeah, I have David Seaman, there's Martin Keown, there's Tony Adams. So, you know, there's Paul Scholes, there's a lot of, yeah, Dwight York. There's a mixture of players. I have a you know, real good mixture of players who I talk to sometimes, or if we see each other, you know, we say hello. There's Canu as well. There's the Laurent, Edu. It's Cesc Fabregas. All these guys you know, I've got nice, you know, and more. There's some of them I even forgot, but there's more. There's lots of players. I've been very popular in my 20 years, and I've enjoyed immensely the football and the challenges, the victories, the losses. Yeah, so I've enjoyed, you know, football.
How do you like Dubai? It's not your first time, yeah, really?
No, I went to Dubai. I came to Dubai before the Japan and Korea World Cup. It was just built, the Palm, and they offers all the players. England, I didn't take one. 50% off of the. They gave us a special deal. Some players took it, other players didn't. I thought, you know, for me it was busy. I came before I was here maybe 6-7 years before that. It's got busier, but now it's huge now.
Really?
It's massive, and it takes forever to go places now. Before it was half an hour, you know, but now it's big now.
Yeah,
it's
and
huge.
they are going to the desert and to the sea.
Yeah, they're doing both. They're doing both. Yeah, doing both.
Yeah, really.
I mean, this was the first project, the Palm. You know, fantastic, you know, feat to kind of build something in the water and keep it kind of stable. And
it's really a miracle.
Yeah, it's a miracle. It's
unbelievable.
Yeah. I know, it's unbelievable.
The only one.
Yeah, so, you know, I've seen Dubai develop over the decades. You know, it's incredible. It's unbelievable. No, I think for me, a lot of people are here. A lot of people around the world are here. I think, you know, one of the main attractions of the place is safe. You know, you can have your family here, things like that. You know, I brought my kids here last time. You know, and I can understand the attractions of people, and you know, there's interest in tax breaks here and things like that. You know, it's warm, but sometimes too warm. But you know, I'm sure you get used to that. Sometimes, maybe not in the summer, but it's nice. If people are here, people, you know, trying to do the right thing. Yeah, it's nice.
So it is the first time that World Cups takes place in Gulf region. What do you think about football in this region generally, and how do you find just the preparing in Qatar, and what do you think about it?
I think, you know, obviously it's not, you know, when you look at the season, it's not ideal. I'm, you know, I have to admit, it's not ideal, but middle of most of the world football season. So it's like in the middle. It's like usually it's at the end of the season. So it's caused problems to kind of work out scheduling. But I think everyone's prepared now. I think it's going to be really successful here. I know it's the stadiums are really close, but they've put a lot of effort into it, and hopefully it's an amazing World Cup. But you know, it's the World Cup. You want to win. You want to play well. It's a special cup in every boy, girls' hearts and minds who want to be, you know, remembered forever. So it's a special time. So regardless if it's in the middle of most seasons, you know, everyone wants to win the World Cup. It's a dream. If you know, I didn't get there, but there's some people who have enjoyed it. It's special.
Could you teach me how to play football? Maybe how to pass?
I can tell you how to pass.
Yeah.
I can teach you how to tackle.
Okay.
How to shield the ball. Make sure no one can get the ball, and then you can pass it.
Yeah, let's go.
Come on.
So guys, we will try to make me the most popular footballer. With such a teacher, it will be not so cute.
So the first exercise is just a little bit of jog, and you flick up your legs back like this.
No.
That's it. Nice, easy,
I'm
easy,
tired.
easy. Tired already?
Yeah.
No.
No, I'm joking.
We just.
You know, I'm a runner.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you're better than me. And then now you do the hamstrings. You just go back like this. just warm up the hamstrings.
Like Michael Jackson.
Yeah, Michael Jackson, warm up, warm up, warm up, warm up. And then you have to, that's the hamstrings, that's the front, and now the sides, just go like this. This is for your groins, your inner thighs, to warm them up, and then back again. So you got the movement.
It's like cha-cha-cha.
Yeah, cha-cha-cha, cha-cha-cha, you know, dancing. You know, you have to have the hips. And then sometimes you gotta go like this.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go, the hips, get it around.
Once you said that if you were white, you'd captain the national English team at least for 10 years. So do you feel English football has done away with racism and maybe something changed now? What is your opinion now?
I think for me, when I said that, I remember it's for my book. And I felt, you know, maybe captain many more times than 3 times, captain the side. Maybe not 10 years, but definitely more than 3. And I feel they're trying to kind of move forward, and hopefully, you know, they are trying. And you know, there's always problems. But now there's problems, but they seem to go on it and see if they can rectify that. I think it's hard because the institution is over 100 years. Not the policy, how it's designed, how the rules and regulations and things like that that made the Football Association. I think that has to get looked at and closely looked at to kind of open up or take away to open up. The players who of colour want to be managers. I think, but then at the same time, I think fans and I think people around football can help as well. It's not only the guys and women who make the decision. It's also the fans as well. It's important. So it's like, you know, all encompassing. You can't just say just the association. The association is a big thing, but I think also the people who watch football are very important as well. So they should encourage this kind of change and opening up with different coaches around from colour. I think that's key. So you have to pass in here.
In here.
Yeah? Put your foot like this.
Like this?
Which if left or right?
I don't know.
You don't know which foot?
Oh, no. Right, of course, right.
You're right. So you put your left like this.
Like this.
And then you go like this. And you go like this. Boom. So you do it. Stop it. Yeah.
So,
left.
like left.
And then pass. There you go. Wow, look.
Up.
Poof, perfect. Yeah, you see? I'm a good trainer.
Yeah.
Yes, perfect. Now you have to do your weaker foot now. You always have to train your weaker foot because you never know in football, they might come on your stronger foot and then you have to pass. Okay. So the same thing and that. Easy. Ah, perfect. It's getting better.
You know, the most difficult for me not to touch my hand.
Well, you like
but
like
if I will
basketball?
be Maradona.
Yeah, Maradona. Yeah.
Hand of God. Do you remember?
VR would have organized that. No hand of God.
It was hand of God.
Yes. Like this. Perfect. Good. So if your ball is here and you try to attack, I'm gonna go like this. Like that.
Too close.
Close, so you protect the ball. So you go like that, try to get the ball to me. You try to get the ball. Like that. Yes? So you have a bridge and then you can pass. Oh, and then you have, okay. Then now I have to do this after where you're going. You know? So you try.
From you?
Yeah, I'm gonna get the ball. You have to come in the ball and block me. Oh, yes, perfect. There you go. Protection of the ball. I'll do it again. I'm going to go for the ball.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Oh, here we go. And you push.
And then Aikido.
Yeah. Judo. No judo. Red card.
Okay. Red
card. Red card. Judo.
I'm woman. I could.
Red card. That's good.
Yeah,
so, Perfect.
And then how to do this? I like this.
Yeah, yeah.
Could you show?
Look, look.
Oh my God. How do you do this? Bravo! Oh my God.
Oh! There you go. So, we just have to do one.
Okay.
Yay! One is good. One is good. So for me in football, you start one, and then you go two. You know, 1, 2. So before, just one. Hold, one. That's it, because it's easy. Yes, one. Oh yeah, 2. Bravo. Try. 1, yes.
1.5.
One and a, yeah, 2, you see? Already I'm a good coach, huh?
Yeah.
Already,
Yeah.
Already
Good
you're
coach.
doing 2 kick-ups. Maybe you do 3 next time.
Okay.
Good.
My father, he taught me how to play chess. And you know, he thought that this is the only way to explain for women what is tragedy and logic.
Oh yeah.
And if
I'll
he
give
would...
I'll give you a game of chess.
Yeah, yeah.
You want to play chess? We have chess, we play chess.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Really?
I'll play chess, yeah.
So,
I'll give you a game.
okay. Yeah.
Chess ball, I'll give you a game of chess.
We recently moved from one city to another, from one country to another, and you moved from one club to another, and from player to coach. What was most interesting and what was really challenging?
For me, from one club to another club, the challenging is you've been at one club and you go to another club, and it's to for the home crowd and people in the club to not accept, but they're waiting to see what's going to happen. How are you going to fare? Are you going to be a success or are you going to be a failure? So that's the narrative, and as a footballer, that's all you can do is deal with the narrative, is by playing the best football, concentrating, making sure everything, not going out, eating right, sleeping, making sure you got plenty of energy, thinking about it. That's the only way you can deal with your world to change the world around you. You can only deal with your stuff. Changing manager is you're dealing with 20, 30 men and teenagers. So if you change, the mentality change, and for you to be successful, you may be going into an environment that doesn't like change. Maybe some are ready for change, some are not ready for change, and that's the battle, because you need to able to control and manage that for them to see, oh, yes, I think he knows what he's doing. I'm gonna change slowly. You know, I think this is the best way, but that might take 6 months, that might take 1 year. And some players might never change, and you have a problem with them, with your mentality and their mentality, because in the end, you're the manager. Once they go on the pitch, it's up to them. So if they're not playing how you want them to play, it can be difficult because you may have come from a team that you've done that and you've managed them and the mentality is really good, but then you go to somewhere else, then you have to start all over again. That's the thing, to manage the mentality and the attitude to suit your vision of football, so you can kind of be good, successful, and they can be good and successful, and then the club can be good and successful, because you know the way to win, and that's key. That's the hard thing, to change mentality of the team. You can always buy it in, but if you haven't got the money to buy it in, you have to slowly change the mentality within the club, and that's the difficult side.
So I started to speak about my father and about how he taught me to play chess and all these things that I just always remembering and recalling in my in my life. Yes, from the past. It's all about him. And now, if he will be alive, I will thank him for this, for everything. And the question is, if your father will be here, what would you like to tell him to him?
I think, my father was a very strong man. He had a difficult life back in Jamaica, and my mother, and they came over to England. So it was very difficult for them in the 60s. And so for me, it's like, if you could see me now, family, 20 years of football behind me, progressing in other businesses as well. I have a design business that we work all around the world. We have a place, studio in New York and in London. Have 3 wonderful kids. Lovely wife, beautiful wife. We've blossomed and we've grown and we've grown into something special. So for me, he would probably look back and say, "Wow, okay, one of my sons and daughters has married, has a life after football as well, and still surviving, still growing, still discovering, still happy, still frustrated as well in things." But I think he would be proud to see at least one of his sons accomplish so much, so far beyond my mother and father's life from Jamaica to London. Yeah, I wish you could see that.
I believe that he sees everything.
Yes,
Like my father too.
Yeah. Yes.
And let's talk about your interior business.
Yeah.
Because I know this, and I know that this business is between you and your wife.
Yeah.
And moreover, is it difficult to work with your relatives? And what is and something about this business? Because I know that it is very successful.
Yeah, we've. My wife studied in Parsons, which is a very highly prestigious design school or college in New York, and Chelsea as well. She did Chelsea in London. So, and she's worked for a couple of companies, and now she has her own company for now nearly 20 years now. And then there was one time, I've always loved property. I've always loved architecture. Yes, I played football, but I still have the love for architecture, how things sit, how things fit in a space. I'm actually very good at that, and seeing a building and seeing how I can transform that. And so we have come together, but not, we've crossed ideas and crossed passions, but we're not crossed over too much that it starts arguments and things like that. So I know when I don't want to step on her toes and do too much, because that is her creativity, her design, her passion. So I know when to kind of, not go too deep and not too, too critical. It needs critiquing. You have to critique, but not too much that it really disturbs the relationship. And so for me, that's been a positive, and then we've grown together. So we've worked in Russia, we work in America now. We're selling a lot in America. We have outdoor furniture now. We have a showroom in London. We have a showroom in New York, 200 Lexington, which is like a design building. We sell around the world. We design our own furniture. We make our own furniture. And yeah, the business is a success, and it's amazing. We're quite unique in our style, but I think now, after 15 years of designing furniture, for my wife and her team, it's starting to bear fruit even more. Our outdoor furniture has been incredible. We've done amazing, and now we're doing lighting. We support other lighting companies, some guys from America, and we sell their stuff, but we're doing our own lighting, our own furniture, our own design, and now we do our own projects now. We do our own developments, sometimes houses, sometimes nice flats. So we can do from start to inception to the finished product. So it's key, almost like you walk in and you go in, and all you need is yourself and your clothes, and we do everything, and then we sell that. So and we got we're pretty good at it. And I've always been in property. Even when I was young and I couldn't afford, I was always doing the numbers on on my area of my postcode, house, price. So I used to do that when I was 10 years old in my local paper. So I used to run the numbers, but I couldn't afford it. But I used to just do the numbers in my head just for, I don't know, just for kind of for knowledge, just for me to understand. I couldn't afford it, but I tried to understand numbers, houses, postcodes, areas, area codes, zip codes.
Zip codes.
Yeah.
So, about fair play, what does fair play mean to you? What does it mean for the sport? And did the attitude towards fair play change recently? For example, what do you think about Maradona's hand of God?
I think, you know, it happened. It wasn't seen. I think you just have to get on with it. On the same game, he scored probably one of the best goals in World Cup football as well, in the same game. I think for me, it's all about fair play. Fair play now is how you conduct yourself. Fair play is make sure you're not, taking drugs and things like that. Performance enhancing. That's fair play. To make sure you are natural as possible playing the game. So it comes down to how you've slept, you ate right, you drinking water, you stayed in, you trained hard, you looked after your body. The physio's done an amazing job, and then everything's done in a natural way with the technology and ways, to kind of heal and to progress. Everything's done naturally, so then everybody's on a natural, it's about ability and about how you looked after yourself, not anything performing enhancing to kind of fake your way to get to the top. That's, for me, is fair play. You've done everything proper within the rules. That's fair play. So you're on an evil level, even level against your opposition.
We are from our childhood.
Yeah.
And is there any story from the childhood that you are recalling, and you're just maybe the story that changed you? Could you tell us?
I think the moment I think changed me. I think
In your childhood.
in my childhood is when I left London. I was 13, 14, and I got into the Liddershall National School of Excellence. My parents said, I was thinking, oh, do I go? Because it's 3 hours north, in the countryside. The FA was organising it. I said, what am I doing? I don't want to leave London. I want to stay here, play football in the streets, play football for my school. But I think that was a point that if I didn't go there, I wouldn't have got out of London. I wouldn't have met some of my friends. I wouldn't start to really be a specialist in my sport. And I wouldn't understand my body, my mind, and how far I could go if I didn't go to Liddershall. I know some players didn't have a nice experience, but sometimes there's moments I didn't have a nice experience, but I think I learned a lot. There was a fantastic physio there called Craig Simmons, and he was far advanced in his vision. And he used to say to me, "It says Zia, you're going to do a collection. You're going to do like the Socia collection." Like he thought I was going to do clothes. He had I'm not doing that. I'm doing kind of furniture, but you never know. I do like clothes and I do like designing clothes, but it's more furniture. But he was so advanced, and for me, I would not realise the potential in my body if I didn't go Liddershall. I got better grades at a normal school. I learnt about my body. I've met some really good friends. I played international football at 14, so I played in the Scandinavian tournament. I played, Italy at 14, 15, 16. For me, I would never have done that. Yeah. And from then, when I went back to my old team, Tottenham, I was like, they thought I was here when I left at 14, but I came up here and I thought, oh my God. And they could not understand how I've gone from there in 2 years to there, way beyond all the other players. So that was a point in my life that if I didn't go,
You will never reach.
I don't know if if I would have reached the same level. I'm not too sure. But that definitely contributed to me. And that was a tipping point for me. Either stay here in London or go and seek your future. I think maybe God was there as well to push me in the right direction.
So, what do you feel when you just everybody want to snap with you, make photo? Some
I think for me, it's an appreciation of what I've done. You know, sometimes when you go out of your country and you go to other places, I think people appreciate the level you've played at, the things you've gone through, the sacrifice you've made, regardless if it's, you know, good or bad or whatever. But I think the appreciation of the quality and the length of time and how good you played around the world. And sometimes that can get lost in the narrative in your own country. And when you go away, people just look at what you've done, how you've done it, the consistency of level and the quality, and also the players you played against, and realize, wow, this guy played in this era with these amounts of players against them, for them, and came out on top year after year. And people look outside the UK and just marvel at the quality and consistency you've done. And there's nothing else, there's no more questions. It's just football. And that's all they see, there's football. There's nothing behind. That's innocent, you know, football and the quality, the length of time, the consistency and the level, you know, and the amount of years and the moments, special moments, sometimes not all special, but special moments. And they just look at that. They got no other story behind, just beautiful football and how I played. And sometimes you only get that when you go abroad sometimes, because too much cloudiness in your own country. So yeah, it's nice. People are polite and things like that. That's the main thing for me. People are polite. Yeah. And he said, I play you. For me, the difference, what's happened with him is the FIFA legends. Before,
I see.
so that was a massive change in kids like of his age. Okay, FIFA, Zidane, so Campbell, whatever. They start to see the quality of football because they take all the attributes and put it on the football, what you did, what you're good at, and everyone said, wow, okay, he's keeping up with this player. I thought he was, he's really strong, or he's really quick, or could pass the ball. Oh my God, this guy was amazing. And they start to realize the quality, and the best players can transcend time. You good 20 years ago, you can be good now. You're good 50 years ago, you could be good now if you have the same, training, the same food and nutriments and things like that, and the same mentality and things like that. So good players can transcend time. So I could be good in 100 years' time.
Yeah, this is real.